NSD family, we recently made the big switch from Outlook to Gmail. And there are a lot of features within Gmail that you may not be aware of. And you may have opened up your Gmail to find something like 600 or 700 messages in your inbox, up to I've heard some people have like 20,000 messages in their inbox. And how do we clean that up and sort through it quickly without wasting precious time? So my goal today in these next, I'm hoping like 15, 20 minutes, is to show you how to take your inbox from something like this, where I've got the almost 700 emails, to this, where you can see I have no new mail, but everything is sorted and organized. And when new mail comes in, it goes right where I need it to go. So our goal today is to have this nice pretty view, and all emails that are coming in are incredibly relevant to you and helpful that way. We're gonna start over here because I think this is what a lot of our inboxes might be looking like with all of these emails here. First thing, you get to decide how you want the layout of your inbox to be. For example, I actually prefer the no split. I want to see the name of my email with the email going across and a little sneak preview of what's in it. Totally optional and up to you, and you're just going to do that by toggling here between split and no split. If you have the split, then when you click on the email, you'll still see all the others and your email will open up here. So split versus no split. I like no split. That's a personal preference. Another thing that I like to do is I like to create labels. And I like a lot of labels because that's how I organize my emails, to know that if it's a label for coaching, then when I join my email, I can see I've got 5 new emails that are related to coaching. If it's around tech support, then I can look at that label and see how many new emails I have for that. And it just helps me organize my day and get to emails much quicker. So I actually we have Hangouts, we don't have chat in ours, and I'm just showing you an account that I never go into. So I have a lot of random emails in here. But I like the Hangouts or chat to be on the right-hand side, so that way my labels on the left-hand side can take up more space and I can easily view them. I'm gonna do that by coming up here into settings, and then I'm gonna click on see all settings. Once I get into see all settings, I can click on the chat or meet. In this case, it may say Hangout, or it might still be living in advanced. I can't quite remember on ours, but it's going to be in one of these two. And I'm going to move it to the right-hand side. Again, that's personal preference, but I like it on the right-hand side so that the left-hand side can be more focused on all of my different labels or folders, which is what they were called in Outlook. So folders and labels are the same thing in here. And so now it's going to refresh. And you're going to see that I have my inbox over here. I did the single pane view. Again, you can quickly change that. You can toggle here. And then my Hangouts is on the right-hand side. It makes it just a little bit easier to see everything. It's a quick, easy view for you. You can also come in here to settings, and you can pick a nice theme for your email. I like to have a theme. We're sitting in front of our computers all day. I want it to feel like I'm looking out a window, so I might go with a forest theme. There's quite a few different ones, but you can quickly change that and customize that just for your own personal needs. Now, those are some quick tips to organize the overall look and feel, but let's get into how we organize our labels. So first thing I can do, I can hit this down arrow for more, and I can create new labels here. For example, if I want to create a label around Google Classroom, I could create that label and save it in here. Now I have a label called Google Classroom that any email that I direct to go to Google Classroom will come in here. Again, I have to direct it still, but I can create all those labels in advance. I could also create a label within a label. So maybe I want meet invites, and I want that to live under Google Classroom. I could do something like that and have it live there. Another thing that I can do is I can actually click on things within here. So I'm seeing I'm getting a lot of emails from info. And I know that info, I don't need to check those. They're not important to me. Again, kind of a fake account, so we'll look at it that way. But I'm getting a lot of emails from info. I don't want them in here, so I'm actually gonna click the box next to info, come up here to more, and I'm gonna filter messages like these. I don't need that coming into my main inbox. So any message that has the word list, leaderview.globalgeg.org, I can filter it that way. So I'm gonna start by creating that filter. I'm gonna have it skip the inbox, which does mean it's going to archive it. That doesn't mean that it's read, but it's skipping the inbox. I don't need it coming there. And I'm going to apply this to a label. If I've already created the label, then I would select the label here, or I can create a new one. In this case, these ones are going to be my, I'm gonna call it GG just for my reference. I can also have it so that it marks it as read. I don't do that often, but there are some companies that send regular emails and I don't ever read them. And so I just select mark as read and have it archive into that folder. But that's not for something like a parent email. That would be for, an example of that might be if I'm getting Newsela emails regularly. I don't need those. I just mark them all as read and have them skip my inbox. I'm also going to have it apply to all matching conversations. So what I did here is I said skip the inbox, apply to this label. Remember, think of labels like folders. And then I want it to apply to all matching conversations. And I can hit create filter. So give it just a second, and I may even have to refresh it. So let's try refreshing. Let's come up here. Oh, there's a lot of them, so it's gonna take its sweet time. There we go. So I just went from 699 emails to 233. That tells me I had like 400 plus emails from info that I have not read. I didn't lose them all. Yeah, I had 460. Now they're living in this folder that I titled GEG. So they're now living in here. I still have access to all of them. And in this case, these are all super old. I know I'm never gonna come back and read them. So I'm gonna highlight here. I'm gonna check this box up here. I'm gonna say that I want it to select all 464 conversations. And then I can click mark as read. And it's saying, are you sure you wanna mark all 464 as read? I do. They're all old and they're actually being forwarded to a different email. So I'm not too worried about that. Right there, that just cleaned up so many emails, and now any email that I get from info is going to live, it's gonna show up in this GEG folder. Another example of what I could do, let's say that Christine was a student. She's not, but let's say that she was. I can check her name again, and I can say that I want to filter this messages like these. In this case, it's gonna be any message from her email. So any message that she sends me, I can create a filter for. I can say skip the inbox. I'm not gonna mark it as read. If this is a student, I'm definitely not gonna do that. But I could apply a filter and choose a label, a new label, and I could call this student emails. I could create that filter and apply it to any email that she's already sent me in the past. And this is also going to apply to any future emails that she sends me. All of these emails that she sends me are now going to live here in student emails. So I can create that filter. That one won't take as long, and it only removed one from my inbox. Doesn't seem like much right now, but it will be helpful in the future as the student continues to email me. I will see here when I come to check my email, it's tiny and the color background doesn't help, but I can see that I have one student email. So if I'm starting my day with wanting to go straight to student emails, I would have it so it filters all of my student emails into one label, and then I would start my day in here and quickly go through those. Before I get to the rest of my emails in my inbox, you can do the same thing with parent emails. You can have it so that it filters all parent emails to a label. Now let's say, for example, we have quite a few students who I know are in the same classroom, and I don't want to go one by one. You can check off multiple students. So all of these students, let's say, are in my classroom. Select more, filter messages like these. So it's going to take all of their different emails. It also added a subject. I'm going to delete the subject. I just want all of their emails, and you can add them yourself too by adding an or sign in between each email. But I'm going to take all of theirs, create a filter, Skip the inbox. That's the important one. You want it to skip the inbox so that way it's housed in its correct folder. Don't mark it as read. And I want to apply the label students, student email, and also filter all 17 matching conversations. That means anything that's already been sent to me. So now all past and future emails from these students are going to live in my student email here. Another way that you can filter your emails is you can come up here into your settings, upper right-hand corner, and you can go to see all settings, and you can come in here to where it says filters and blocked addresses. By coming in here, you can actually start creating your new filters. So you can create filters for just about anything, filters from somebody. So if I know that I want any email from coaches to go to a coaching folder, I would type in each of their different emails, and in between each email, I'm gonna write the word or. If I don't really filter to emails that are to somebody, so I'm not going to dive into that, but I guess if I'm constantly sending emails to somebody and I want it to live there, I could. Those are outgoing emails. Emails with the same subject. For example, if my students are constantly emailing and I've taught them, hey, if you have a question about Google Classroom, you need to title your or subject your email Google Classroom. And any email that comes in with the subject of Google Classroom will be filtered that way. You can also have emails that have certain words in them or that don't have certain words in them. So a couple different ways to filter. I try to just stick with who it's from or some keywords. Then you're going to create filter, skip the inbox, choose the label. In this case, it's Google Classroom. You can select never send to spam. There are certain ones. I don't ever want it to send to spam. You can also always mark it as important if there's a student who you really want to kind of flag or a family that you're like, oh, I keep missing their emails. You can always mark it as important and then apply to all like conversations. So then create your filter. And it's now moving all of those into my folder called Google Classroom. And you can keep creating new filters in here. So a couple different ways to create your filters. Another filter that I really like to create is one for this mail delivery. Basically, it's saying it didn't deliver, and I get a lot of those. So I create a filter for that by just checking one of them. And again, I come in here and filter. So any emails from that, you'll see I have a lot of them. So I'm going to create that filter, skip the inbox, go here, and I'm going to add a new label. In this case, failure, create that there. I'm going to mark it as read. You may not want to, but in the switch, I noticed in my own district Gmail, I was getting a lot of those, which was really strange. So I just marked it as read. I'm going to apply to all matching conversations and create that filter. So I should be going from 212 emails to much fewer. So just find those common trends or similar emails that you think belong together and click on the box next to it and create those filters. A few other quick tips and tricks from within here. This is going to take just a second to do. On the right-hand side, you are going to have Hangouts. So I'm going to open up now my district one. You're going to have Hangouts, and you're going to actually be able to chat with others on your team. So you can start a new chat by clicking here and typing in their name. So for example, if I wanted to chat with Rebecca, I could click here, and I could start chatting with her in here just to save us from having to then open up text or anything along those lines. So that's a really nice, easy feature to use. Hangouts is supposed to be going away and switching over to chat, but we don't need to worry about any of that right now. So keep creating those filters. Another thing that you can do is you can quickly hover over emails and you can mark them as read. You can delete them and you can snooze emails. You know how we get those emails really late at night from students and parents? You can snooze it and you can have it alert you the next day. This one's taking a while, so we'll let that filter do its thing. But let's say this is an email that I need to read. I don't have time for it right now. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna snooze this either until later today or tomorrow. In this case, I'm gonna snooze it until later today. It's gonna remove it from my inbox. It's not saying it's not important altogether, it's just not my priority now, and it's keeping me organized and on task. One other thing, because I do wanna keep this somewhat short, and I know it's a lot of information happening in here. Actually, two more things. One other thing that I wanna show you in Compose is you can create email templates. So there are some emails that I am having to send regularly, and I don't want to type up the same thing over and over and over. For example, let's say a student's constantly asking, where can I find my work? I might respond and let them know, check the agenda in Google Classroom. Typically, I'm not going to create a template for something this short, but maybe. So I'm going to create my template. I'm going to give it a title. I really don't have to, though. Just give it your template, write it all in here. Come down to the three dots, the ellipses, the snowman, whatever you want to call it. Go to templates, and you can actually save as a template. So save as new template, and this is for, we'll call it assignments. Hit save. And now if a student emails me asking, where is my assignment? I would just respond. We're going to pretend like WordPress emailed me that. I'm going to reply to them. And when I reply to them, I'm going to come to the three dots, find my template called assignments, plug it in, and hit send. Don't create templates for every email you do, but for those that you're constantly sending out, create a template. You're going to save a lot of time in the end. And you can create those as templates as you're making them, as you're writing emails. If you're like, ooh, this should be a template, just save it as a template and you'll have it for later use. That's really nice. One other thing you can do, ooh, now I'm finding there's so many things. You can schedule when you want to send this. So I don't want to send this right now. I actually want to send it at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So I could schedule send this, and I can choose the day and time that I want to send it, or pick one of the three options that they give me. So you have 4 choices. After you send an email, there's always going to be, and it's probably going to pop up behind my gray box down here, an option that says you just sent an email. Do you want to undo it? You can. So after you send an email, they're going to find this very interesting. It's going to say here, it's going to ask you message sent, undo. I can hit that and it's going to undo it. I have 15 seconds to take back my email. You can change that time in your settings by coming up to settings and go to all settings. You can actually change the time. Oh, this one actually, it says 5 seconds. Send cancellation period, change it to 30 seconds. That means if you make a mistake and hit send too quickly, you have 30 seconds to delete that email or to pull it back. We've all made that mistake at least once. At least I have many times. So I would save that change. And the last thing I want to show you, I just want to remind you, Google is a search engine. And so as you're searching through emails, use the search feature up here. If you know you got an email from a student and you can't find it, use this search feature up here. So I could start typing in, apparently I'm getting a lot of emails from WordPress, probably because I'm having to use it for one of my grad school classes. You can search emails quickly by using that search bar up here. I can find my snoozed emails in here. I got my inbox, all of that. So some cool features to play with, but the big thing right now is just getting your inbox. We call it inbox 0. You don't necessarily need to be at inbox 0, but if you can start filtering and doing all that, you're going to save a lot of time putting in those filters, arranging this to fit with your classroom. As you have more questions, feel free to send questions around organization of emails to me. If I'm seeing a lot of trends in the same questions, I'll create another quick video and help out that way. But otherwise, have a great day. Enjoy Gmail. There are really cool features within Gmail, so please take advantage of each of those. Bye, everyone.